Hey everybody, I just finished the Sun Eater series, the 7 book series by Christopher Ruocchio. And I want to give my kind of first impressions after finishing the seventh book. And I want to touch on each book, what with the quality of each book, the tone, the atmosphere, very briefly, and get to the end of the series and kind of share my thoughts after having just finished it. I think overall it's a very good series, but I do have a couple misgivings about how it ended. So I'm going to give you a little spoiler-free tour as we go through each book. The first book, Empire of Silence, is it's probably the weakest of the whole series. I'll wait till I get to the end of the series because I might have something else to say about the weakest book. But I think it's fair to say that Empire of Silence is the weakest book. If you read Empire of Silence and you enjoy it, then you're probably going to like the series. Just a little background of what this book is about. The galaxy is colonized. There are tens of thousands of colonized worlds. It's like, think of Isaac Asimov's Foundation. Way, way in the future, there's an empire. It's kind of that setting. It's very, the political structure is now kind of ancient Rome. There's an emperor, and then there's these aristocratic houses that rule planets and solar systems and things like that. So it has that kind of social structure. And then it has a lot of kind of the tone and atmosphere and the social structure of Dune as well. So you find a lot of complaints like, oh, it's so much like Dune. It's rip off of. It's not. It's not. It's a little derivative of those things, but it stands on its own legs. It's its own story, and it's very impressive. The from Empire of Silence starts with Hadrian Marlowe. He's the main character. This story is told in a first person POV. The entire series is just him talking in first person. I enjoy first person, and Christopher Rocha did a really good job getting that across. I really enjoyed that. The second book, Howling Dark, is phenomenal. For a second book of the series, I really enjoyed it. Hadrian Marlowe, he really grows as a character. He gets more power. He's a little bit more of a maverick and a rebel, and he really starts exploring a lot of the backstory that has led to the current modern state. And then something happens at the end of that book that really like blows everything out of the water. I think the narrative is really subverted, and you're like, what is this story about? And it is an excellent. The third book, Demon in White, I generally find is everybody's favorite book of the series. And I'm not going to lie, I think it might be my favorite as well. One of the best parts about this series is the relationship of Hadrian with the Emperor. It's really compelling. They actually don't interact that many times over the 7 books, maybe just a handful of times, but they're really compelling. They have a lot of weight, their words and their interactions with one another. Hadrian starts to have a lot of power because of the arcane mysteries that he starts to kind of understand. Book 4, Kingdoms of Death, is one of the hardest books I've ever read. It's a low point for this series, as many, many difficult things happen to Hadrian, and as he reflects on them later through the storytelling. It is a very difficult book to read. And then the next book, Ashes of Men, I also very much enjoy it. A lot of great loss happens there, and it is a hard book to read as well. It sets you up for the 6th book, which is Disquiet Gods, which might be my favorite book in the series. I think it's either Demon in White or Disquiet Gods. Disquiet Gods is lots of more plot reveals happen. You understand more of this arcane mystery that's going on. Everything matters. Ruocchio makes everything matter. Stuff that was laid down in the 2nd book in The Howling Night, which you're like, what does this have to do with anything? He really starts to connect things. He starts to connect things with almost modern day America. That's how far back these things go, and it's really cool what he does with this long plot line over this the Imperium. For me, everything was set up to love the 7th and final book, Shadows Upon Time. But as I finished it just recently, I was the word that comes most to me is underwhelmed. I was underwhelmed by that book. It's gotten a lot of rave reviews from lots of people I follow, and it's a good book. It's a good book. It's a worthy conclusion. It is. And as I reflect on the series, it had to end that way. He sets it up and he does a good job finishing it. It sticks the landing. It was a little predictable and it was too long. The plot developments did not justify the length of that novel. The other books are long too, but they didn't feel long. This book felt long. It felt repetitive. And it had 2 main characters, specifically Cassandra and Celine, who were very underdeveloped to me. I had no emotional connection with them. And because of that, I kind of lost my emotional connection with Hadrian. And then it just kind of ends. And I was left feeling underwhelmed. Not disappointed, but underwhelmed. And actually, I think Shadows Upon Time, I think the last book is my least favorite book in the entire series. I liked Empire of Silence much more than Shadows Upon Time. But stepping back and looking at the whole series, it seems like the parts were greater than the sum for me. I enjoyed the journey more than finishing it. I really enjoyed, which doesn't mean he didn't deliver on the premise. He definitely does. Christopher Ruocchio delivers on the premise. He does. He sets up this great story and he delivers. There's no doubt about that. But I enjoyed every book more than that last book. Is this series worthwhile reading? If you like space operas, if you like sci-fi, you will probably love this series. Overall, I think this is a 5-star series. That last book was a 3-star for me, but it's a 5-star series. I do think it's one of the best science fiction series I've ever read, and probably that's ever been written. Really enjoyed it. The novellas, real quick. The novellas are good. I read all of the novellas. I didn't read all of everything that was involved, but the novellas are good. Dregs of Empire, which focuses on a main character, are good. I wouldn't skip the novellas. If you're going to skip one, it would be Queen Amid Ashes. That was okay, but you can probably skip that. But definitely look into the novellas. In the acknowledgments, it sounds like Christopher Ruocchio is starting a fantasy series, which I will eagerly read. And it also sounds like he will return someday back to the Sun Eater universe. It's not done, which I'm glad to know because I thought there were some things a little bit left unsaid. There were some interactions I wanted to read about that didn't happen. Anyway, I'll wrap it up. Please subscribe if you enjoy my content. I have a website. I'm an author as well. It's wickwelker.com. You can check out my stuff. I'm also an ICU physician, anesthesiologist, and I do a medical podcast called ICU Doc Talk. You can check that out if you're interested in medical topics. I also talk about books a lot on my podcast. You can check that out if you like. Enjoy me next time. Thank you.